Hey, welcome to the best of everything. This is Ruben Paul, and this is my co-host, the one who always has to start an argument out of nothing with no facts to back it up, just his opinion. It's my brother.
Yeah. Hey,
from another mother. What's up, man?
Yeah. I mean, and then everybody's going,
it's Johnny Sanchez.
What argument?
Well, we just talked. All right, let's just fucking get right into it.
Yeah.
So we were talking before we got on the air about the Super Bowl coming up.
The Super Bowl. Oh, all right. Yeah, I said it.
Bowl
they should be calling it Super Bowl Filthy 3, okay?
So we do agree on
bad calls.
And these two teams probably shouldn't be in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
And you agree with that?
On both.
And that's kind of been the sentiment.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
Lots of people.
Because as we were discussing, even before we came on or started taping, whatever. Even though there were some other bad calls like there are in games, that weren't called on the Saints with the Rams. It's crucial with the end of the game in a play like that you can't. It changed everything. And the Chiefs and I know we'll start with that, but also too with the Chiefs and Patriots was
absolutely
was the neutral zone infraction.
The rough and the passer was the most. That was just
bad.
insane.
And it's almost like like a lot of people have said, and if the internet's going crazy, is why wasn't that flag? If he was in the neutral zone, they could have been a flag stopping that play anyway. They could have gone 5 back, 5 back more, or maybe they shouldn't have. It was like you said, it was ticky-tacky call.
Yeah. And
that game's over. The Chiefs go to the Super Bowl at that point, pretty much.
Well, it just seems like the Patriots always seem to get the calls.
They get some great breaks, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and here's the thing. I know a lot of Patriots fans are going to say, "Oh, you Patriot." And let me just say for the record, for you guys watching, not necessarily listening, I have a Los Angeles jacket on, and this is not for the Rams. This is an old school throwback of when the Raiders. Where it was in Los Angeles, and this is a Marcus Allen throwback Los Angeles jersey. So I'm not on any bandwagon, even though I am rooting for the Rams to win this Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not a fan of the Patriots and their history of cheating, even though they didn't technically cheat themselves in this game.
But did they get cheated for?
Yes.
And
a lot of people believe that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So we're going to talk a lot about, the game and calls, but when we talked, you made a point about how there's penalties throughout a game that have an effect on the outcome.
The time and amount of time and points.
Whether it happens in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, or fourth quarter. And my argument was, before we got on air, was, like if it's not like a touchdown being called back or something like that, like points actually being taken off the board, I don't put a lot of weight on stuff that happened in the first half. And I do agree with Rams fans that there's some things that should have been called that weren't called, that could have changed the trajectory that were later in the fourth quarter, that the face mask that happened that they could have called. But the NFL, even in their rules, whether you want to accept it or not, they tell you pretty much that the most important time in the game is for 2 minutes and under. And the reason why is because under 2 minutes, everything is reviewed. Right. Under 2 minutes.
Right.
Why do they wait until under 2 minutes? Answer that question. Why? Because they feel like that's crunch time.
Right.
This is the most important part of the game. Mm-hmm. So during these last 2 minutes, we have to get it right. So that, to me, in itself, is the reason why that pass interference penalty, which isn't even a judgment call at that. That's not even a judgment call.
Not even like did he?
Like
or
you can miss a face mask. You can if you have a bad angle. You know what I mean? Even with the Patriots game with the Chiefs, when they called that,
it looked like he hit him on his front helmet mask.
Exactly, but
and it just nothing. It just hits.
But officials are taught this, and the official didn't do that. Only call it if you actually see it. You can't anticipate it and go, "Oh yeah, he grabbed." You have to see it, and a lot of officials sometimes make calls based on assumption, what they assumed happened. Like, oh, that totally looked at it like if somebody swings and your head goes back, if you didn't actually see you're not supposed to call it.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to call it. You're only supposed to call what you actually see.
Yeah. But Brady gets those. They really go. Oh, I mean, I've even talked to Patriots fans that have agreed. Like, he's the golden boy. And he does get some special. And yes, Patriot fans. There are other Patriot fans who do agree that the golden boy is the NFL. It's the NFL loves him, and a lot of America loves him as well. And he gets these special, because a lot of times you'll be watching a football game, and somebody's getting pummeled, man, on a regular basis, right? They're getting sacked 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And I'll hear somebody else go, man, if this was Brady, these would all be roughing the passer calls.
Yeah, and
like, he's the prototype for free calls.
And you know what's interesting? These are not just people on the street saying this like normal fans. These are like announcers saying this, ex-NFL players. If you watch ESPN, they always bring that up. Yeah.
Can't touch Brady. Thought it was funny on PTI when Kornheiser and Wilbon were talking at one point, and then Kornheiser goes, well, here's another thing. They couldn't get to Brady. They couldn't touch him. And Wilbon goes, because if they touched him, they'd get a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
And that was a great point.
Right?
It
was a great point. I just think that's one thing that we love about sports is we get to argue and debate these things. There have been some horrible penalties throughout time that have caused instant replay to be. Yeah. And I think with replays in television and the fans having the opportunity to see what actually happened has made this whole thing worse, because you can actually see that, wow, the wrong call was made. So it makes it hard for you to feel like your team has gotten a fair shake. You know, my problem is, you know, if you're going to go as far as to have instant replay, you have to get it right. And I know you can't review everything, but in a situation like that pass interference, it was more than just like, it was like 3 penalties in that one thing. It could have been helmet to helmet, pass it. Like it was, they could have thrown a flag for 3 different things, and they didn't throw any flag. And here's the thing that made me laugh pretty hard. They interviewed the brother who committed the penalty, and what did he say? I thought they were going to call it.
Yeah, of course.
And when they didn't call it, I was like, well, and he goes, I didn't play the ball. I played the player. So he actually said the thing.
Never turned his hand or
he said never. So he actually verbally out loud said what the refs are supposed to call, because he admittedly didn't do what he was supposed to do on that play. And they didn't call it.
Yeah.
So I do understand the Rams fan trying to justify. I guess if I was a Rams fan, I wouldn't want my team being in the Super Bowl to feel tainted.
It's going to be a weird one. This is because if they win, it's always going to be
the Saints got robbed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And on that with the replay, how about I have a couple things on that. Number one, and I don't know if did I hear them right, that they brought in, because I always feel like in postseason, especially as they get, maybe not on a wild card game, but in a divisional and championship game, can't they bring in more refs? Why can't they just have 4 more that are going to handle certain? I mean, to me, I don't understand that. They've got the money. It's not like they only have to have X amount of guys on there. I'm talking postseason only. Postseason.
No, I hear what you're saying, and that does make sense. But to kind of give you a different way to look at it, it's like, you know, somebody goes, hey, how come in the play, you know, it just changes the structure of what it is, what they do.
But we keep having these types of situations coming up, and I feel like, and then okay, all right, so maybe that changes too much.
Yeah.
Then why not have you get one challenge on a penalty in the postseason? Because I don't know if they should start that in the regular season. But here's another thing: a lot of people keep talking about how long are these games going to be? Why don't we go back to 3 timeouts per game? Used to be 3 timeouts in a game. Now it's 3.5. It's 6 for the whole game.
Yeah.
Think about the amount of time that's right there. That is 12 timeouts. If they're used in a game, that's 12 timeouts, as opposed to 6 back in the day. And what they're doing now, if you
Wait,
notice,
what do you mean? What do you? Oh, you're talking about total.
it used to be each team had three, dude.
Yeah, you mean
and
total?
man,
Okay.
they were chintzy when they had to use those because coaches had to really sit back and go, man, I'm going to go ahead and use this one time out in the first half. I hate to do it. Now I've got 2 in the second half. Now, dude, they're calling timeouts in the first drive of the first quarter.
But here's and I agree with you totally.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous.
But
it's
here-
the
but here's-
opening drive, dude. Like
the whole game is too long argument is pretty ridiculous to me because if you truly love football, I don't think you really care. You just want it to be right.
well,
Like the whole.
it's just but dude, the momentum of the game. This is one of the reasons why I don't watch baseball because it's such a slow, long process. The batter steps out of the batting box. The pitcher doesn't feel it, so he steps off the pitching mound.
You're impatient though, so that makes sense.
No, dude, but I mean, I've had conversations with other people who go, "Yeah, I can't watch it either."
No, baseball is definitely
it's
slow, but I'm just saying for me.
I mean, all these timeouts, dude, don't get you a little irritated. It's like, let's go with that. And then,
Not really, like when you played the sport, you know.
Well, it's sort of
when you
like,
played the sport like somebody like me, you know, who played, you know, at a high
school.
level,
and that's right, community too, right? Community college
and college.
Yeah, but what was it? Wasn't it Carson Community or something? What was it? No, what was the school? I don't remember. It was Carson Junior College or something.
No, there's no Carson. All right, you could try to hate if you want to.
No, I'm not even hating. I'm just trying to find out.
I got to bring all my scholarship letters and all that stuff that came because I was recruited.
But I thought you said,
school.
but you didn't end up going to the ones that you could have gone to.
Well, that was a whole different thing.
Because you wanted to go to Carson Community CCC.
First of all, there's no Carson Community College. There's Compton Community College.
That's the one you should have went to.
No, I ended up going to El Camino College, but that's after I left Long Beach and I went to Elko. But that's a whole.
Is El Camino a 4-year or a 2-year?
It was a 2-year, but I went to a 4-year university. That's where I got my
junior college and
No. I got a scholarship. I tore my ACL. I left. I was going to transfer to UCLA. If you want to know the whole story.
Okay.
So,
I think I've heard this before.
Yeah. So I went to Elko because they were the #1. This is fucking hilarious. You want to hear this though?
You guys called it Elko?
Elko.
Isn't it El Camino?
Oh Jesus.
It's a CA. They should have been calling it Elka. You guys are just ruining the language.
That you don't even know.
I know enough of it.
You're Mexican and you don't even know the language.
I know that it's the road, by the way. El Camino means the road in Spanish. Right?
Okay. You're asking him? He's an Indian. Oh, we got to talk. Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
later.
About
those kids, man.
Hey, lay off my Catholic boys, all right? Lay off the Catholic kids.
Really?
My Catholic boys, man.
Those parents, man, have failed. Those parents have failed. Those parents have failed. Anyway,
and they're defending them. They're defending them.
Yeah,
still.
don't even get me started about that.
We're off. We're talking.
Yeah, because you always have to interject something.
Oh my God! You know how that got started? Because I asked you about El Camino, and then you go, "He's Indian." Speaking of that, we need to talk about what happened, and you're blaming me for it. Let me tell you something. Ruben came in today a little frustrated.
I wasn't frustrated.
Yeah, you were frustrated.
You frustrate me.
Somebody called him before he got here, and it made him rush. And he's like, I got somewhere to go. Freaking so-and-so, man. Freaking so-and-so. He keeps going like that.
First of all, I don't say freaking. Dude.
Oh, that's right. He's all flipping so-and-so, man. Flipping so-and-so.
Really? Flipping?
Yeah.
Don't try to give me that's Johnny talk. Don't try to fucking put that on me. Come on, I don't even know who we're talking about anymore, man. Let me tell you.
Let's get back to the game. You in a better mood now? You got a couple laughs out.
No, you're putting me in a bad mood. I was in a great mood when I got here. I see Renee. I see Chris.
Did you hear that? Chris, he's in a great mood when he got here. Oh, that's exactly how you walked in that door. You went,
no, I didn't. That's not what I said. I said, hey, man, I got to get out of my tune there. Oh, now he has to get out of here. Oh,
well, that is true. It's a little weird for you because you do like.
You're normally the one who has to always get out of here.
That's true.
Yeah.
He walked in and he's like fudging so and so.
Oh, anyway. Now I'm saying fudge. What? So what was that? Fudging, flipping, and freaking.
Anyway, all right.
You really did hang out with white people,
You know
man.
I don't like cussing, man. I don't like to cuss that much, dude.
What?
I don't like to
Every
cuss
time you call me, what's up, motherfucker? That's
Yeah,
how you.
That's our greeting. Our greeting.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's up, motherfucker?
What's up, motherfucker? Hey,
But
motherfucker. Yeah.
Think about it. I don't cuss that much, dude. For a guy, think about it. I really don't.
What?
Chris.
Yo, me and
When do you
Johnny
hear
will
me
be on the
cussing?
phone. Yo, fuck that guy.
No, that's when we're talking about somebody that pissed me off.
Yeah,
And I'll be
okay,
like,
so don't act like you don't
no,
cuss.
but I mean, in like, just like, I'm not one of those guys like, dude, I just, hold on a second.
Kick
Let
his
me
ass,
finish,
Johnny.
Let me finish.
Kick his ass, Johnny. Just kick his ass.
I'm not a guy that's like, you're like, yo, what's up? What are you doing? Oh, man, just finishing up this fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I got to call the son of a bitch that's on my
Oh, no.
fucking
We're,
ass
both
about-
of us, we don't curse like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's what I'm
okay.
saying. Yeah.
So we wasted.
Oh, you say curse. I say cuss. What's the consent? Guys,
Does it matter?
Let us know. Do you prefer curse
Does it
or
matter?
cuss? Hey, we got to get everybody involved. Do you guys like curse or cuss? I want to know the percentage. Who says curse? Who says cuss? Because curse to me sounds more of a religious thing.
Why are we talking?
I think it's a church thing. Curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a that's used in church.
But
And you were way.
you gave me shit about Elko, Elka, and you're
God.
going
Let's
curse.
get back to that now.
Then you're going curse and cuss. What does cuss come from? What does cuss come from?
I would imagine maybe curse.
Yeah.
But-
so
but
why
before-
would anybody say there's no R in cuss?
Before curse word, it was a curse on somebody.
What? You had to act out the spookiness. For you who can't see Johnny,
yeah,
goes,
some people can't
he
see.
said curse.
Oh, and I have my hands
He has
up
his hands,
like,
like Scooby-Doo or something. Dude.
Zoinks!
Yo.
That was actually Shaggy, but go back to Elka.
You know what? I don't want to tell the story anymore.
Let's get back to the games.
Can we get back to the game?
We have a Super Bowl coming up.
So you guys don't get to hear this great story because Johnny just went off on a tangent about nothing.
But what great story? About Elka? Which one?
Never mind. So let's get back
I want to hear about El Camino. Come on, man, let's hear it. Somebody's saying that right now. You realize
Come
that?
on.
Hey, man, I want to know. Finish the El Camino, man. From where again?
See.
And then
See. I piss Johnny off when I say that. Johnny.
he would do it on the phone, man, and I'd just be like trying to explain myself. And I go, you know what I'm talking about, Rube? He was like, see. I'm like, all right, dude.
He'll be telling a serious story.
If it was the other way around, Chris, and he's trying to tell me something, and then I sit there on the phone and go. That's like an African language. They do like the popping, the African.
Do you
Something like that.
really? That's what you're.
Camino, really? El Camino, really?
El Camino Real.
Real, I know, but
Yeah.
see where I got. See
All
how I did
right,
that?
all right.
El Camino,
don't-
really? El Camino, really?
Do you what?
Hey,
you have
no,
a whole.
seriously. El Camino, really?
I fucking hate you, man.
All right, we're getting. Yeah, I made some of my points already.
You made all your points.
But here's the main point
What's your main
that
point?
everybody's talking about
What?
with all this.
What's your main point, man?
Rule 17, Section 2, Article 1.
What does it say?
NFL rule book.
What does it say, Johnny? Let them
The
know.
commissioner can
Yes.
have two teams replay. It's his decision. Now, it can be the whole game, or it can be from the point like that where the penalty happened going forward. But first of all, there's also within, if you read up furthermore, it's also supposed to be like catastrophic stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just
It's not a call.
horrible.
It's not a horrible call.
It's horrible call, but it wasn't a catastrophic call. To the Saints fans, of course it is. But I'm still feeling for them, dude. And more importantly, I know I don't want to get too far off of this rule. I'll let you. I know you have something to say about it.
No.
I just really feel I can't feel for Drew Brees more, man. 2 NFC Championship games that the loss came out of his control.
Yeah.
Last year, the miracle in Minnesota where the defense, and then this one, man. And I mean, I don't even know how you process that 2 years, all that work, Ruben.
It's a lot of work.
Talk about the rule when you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. But I think the thing to me that's kind of sad about these things, and it just is a part of sports, but especially when something could have been avoided or really shouldn't have happened. Yeah. Like there's certain things you go, okay, I could see them missing that, but that PI shouldn't have happened. That call
was huge. Like
that
you
call
said,
shouldn't have happened.
A face mask when somebody's running, it can be hard to catch sometimes. I mean,
and I don't have a horse in this race. It's not like I was, it's not like I hate the Rams and love the Saints, or I love the Saints and hate the Rams.
Man, they're not our teams.
They're not our teams.
We're
it's
totally removed from this. It's coming
and I have friends on both sides, and I do understand the reason to justify it. But at the end of the day, Rams fans can complain about those other calls, but the main call went in your favor. So
the big one,
went in your favor.
Yeah.
But I want to get to like the refs, the accountability of the refs, and I don't know if people realize these, but the refs that do the playoffs are the highest graded refs that they have, and then the Super Bowl is
the best of the best. Yeah, they're the Pro Bowlers of refereeing.
Yeah, so these guys that officiated these championship games are the best officials in the game. And these calls change people's lives so significantly, man. Like we were talking on the phone earlier about the tuck rule, and I won't even get into that because we all know that was some bullshit when that call went against the Raiders.
Even Brady said, years later, said, I thought for sure they were going to call fumble.
Yeah, because he knows he fumbled, and the interpretation of the rule. I mean, it was just
that was
weird. I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, that was so weird, man.
And it's something that had never been called, and then they got rid of the rule magically after it benefited the team. But that's a whole nother conversation. But the thing is two points. One, I think the whole point about Gruden is that was Gruden's last game as Raider coach.
Right.
So if he wins that game, who's to say
to the AFC Championship?
You know what I mean?
So
people get fired for losses.
I still don't understand why Al Davis let him go, because that loss wasn't his fault.
Yeah, I know, but it was a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, that was out there.
But you know how they say
crazy,
winning cures all.
Yeah.
Winning covers up lots of problems in the locker room with the organization. As long as you're winning, people will put up with stuff. And even though something wasn't somebody's fault as a player per se, the result still has an overall impact. Where did you win or did you lose? Your record is your record. This was your record. And I think when in life and other jobs, sometimes when you make a really, really bad mistake, you get fired and lose your job. And some people believe that, the officials who missed that call or no call, who was looking directly at it, should be fired.
Right.
And I'd be curious to see what most people think about it. There's a part of me that goes, yeah, he should. But then there's the other part, well, man, I don't know. That was so egregious. I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, because I don't understand
do you think refs should get fired? Not just for this was a bad call, but something that was just like, okay, everybody knows this is horrible. The league apologizes. Everybody knows. Should that?
Yeah, when it's that big. When it's that big and that obvious, and if the ref was, like everybody said, looking right at it, and it said that they arrived at the same time, I don't think he should work again in the league. They have to just find somebody else. They got to bring somebody from college.
Like, sorry, dude, we can't have that.
No, we can't have that because this guy
You're
could do it.
You're too good to do that. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
And what I didn't understand was, weird to me that they, a lot of times the refs will. Somebody will run over. A couple of guys will run over, going, they converge and they have a quick little meeting with, and it's weird that it's still nothing. Nobody said, "Are you sure that wasn't a?" You know what I'm saying? When they discuss things, you would think that someone would say, "Hey, man, I even from way over here, I could tell that he arrived before the ball was there, or he interfered with the.
It was a horrible
helmet to helmet
call.
And pass interference.
It's a horrible.
Yeah, I don't think. I think someone like that has to be let go. Well, no one's going to want this dude. He's going to get booed every time he comes into certain.
Well, the thing is, sports
he'll do it again. So he's going to make a mistake, and any even small mistake is going to have everybody booing the guy.
Well, there's a lot of people. I have a lot of well, let me not. Well, it is a lot. I have a lot of friends who think sports are fixed. Period.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of people out there.
There's a lot of people who's like, "Yo, dude, why are you
Especially
watching?"
now? I know,
Well,
man.
you know, we
This
already
just
know the
fuels that, dude.
You already know the outcome of the game, and there's sometimes I do think that it's possible, but then there's some people that like the conspiracy goes so deep, and it's like, dude, you got to realize, especially if you played any type of sports, that there's certain things you can control and there's certain things that you can't control. Now, there's things you could probably do in certain moments, in certain situations, whether it's basketball or baseball or football, but there's certain things where I'll have my friends who are conspiracy theorists and they'll talk about certain games, and I go, dude, for what you're saying to be true, every single person had to be in on it. It couldn't be just one person.
Right,
you would need the linemen. You'd need everybody involved in this to make that play happen.
Right.
You know, but there's certain things like in basketball, like miss a free throw on purpose, or you know, a quarterback to, you know, just play normal, and then those certain moments, you know, throw the ball over somebody's head on purpose, or throw it short, or make sure it's incomplete.
Correct.
Or a receiver maybe dropping a pass in a crucial situation. But here's the thing. How do the receiver knows he's going to even get the pass in that situation? What if the quarterback, for some reason, because the other team wasn't involved in it, in the conspiracy?
Right.
So there's no guarantee unless the quarterback and the receiver is in it, like, hey, man, this is where we're going to blow the game. So I'm going to throw it to you and you drop it. Or I'm going to, you know what I mean? There's like so many things,
and
so many factors.
Why would you not want the 2 number 1 seeds in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Because I don't know when the last time that's happened. Right?
And
it's been a while.
But aside from that, Johnny, that's just the player aspect of it. I think the point I wanted to get to was with the refs and these umpires. Now that they're in total control of that.
Yeah.
They're in total control of that. They can call shit they didn't see if they want to call it. And we've seen that
we have.
in games. We've seen phantom foul calls. We've seen phantom travel calls. Like, whoa, we've seen phantom no call on a blatant, you know. Wouldn't that be crazy, dude? All this blows over, and then 5 years later, we find out, like, you know, he has like he owns an island somewhere. Like he's like this multi-millionaire for making that one call. It's like, yo, man, my reputation is going to take a hit for doing this. So you guys got to pay me handsomely for me to do this. You know, it's just sad.
It's sad because you just can see the vibe on you know, out there on social media and out, you know, a lot of people are just going, I've seen a lot of people going, I don't really want to watch this game because I feel like both teams got in because of bad wrong.
That didn't deserve to be there.
And maybe this is the better lineup for the NFL, that this is what they would want.
Well,
Young, of course, Brady and them and company, and then you've got the new young team.
But you said it when we started, man. Patriots in the Super Bowl is always good for ratings because people hate the Patriots so much. You know, that they'll tune in.
The betting.
Yeah. And I will say, like, the integrity of the game is a big deal because there's a lot of people who bet and wager on games. And if you don't feel like games are fair, if the public starts to feel like games aren't fair, and I think that's why the NFL knew it probably had a PR problem with people complaining. Yeah. Think about the immaculate reception.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting with that call?
That was not
replay probably wouldn't have even solved that call.
But because it wasn't an illegal play, right? It touched the defender's hand, not the offensive guy. It touched the offensive guy's hand, and you couldn't do that back then.
Yeah.
You couldn't hit it back to your own teammate. So isn't that what happened? The defensive guy came in front, but it was on the hand of the offensive.
Supposedly it had to be hit by the defense first for him to catch it and advance the ball.
His own teammate can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's his hand that
But here's the thing, though. Even as a Raider fan, and when you look at that play, like I've watched it, you can't. It's hard to really tell.
But look at the cameras back then, and the way. I see what you mean. Back then, they wouldn't have been able to. Now, here's the thing about. Here's the other thing about, because again, if some of these penalties, even some in the third or fourth quarter earlier on in the fourth, if there's some bad calls that affect the scoring, now let's just say that does happen, and now we are in overtime. Obviously, overtime in postseason to me it's got to be changed. Yeah, I don't think that a team that goes down and scores a touchdown, that's game over. In my opinion,
it's not fair. It's not fair.
One of the things that I've been hearing is, all right, if whoever scores a touchdown in overtime has to go for 2, so that the other team gets to go down the field and score a touchdown, and they got to go for 2.
Yeah,
right. I feel like this. I mean, I love the college.
Yeah, it's
overtime. But of course, with NFL, you'd have to put the ball further back, and I'm thinking like the 50.
Yeah.
Because even at if they went to 8 yards to the 42,
how about this, Johnny?
That's a 58-yarder or a 60-yarder. They could still even make that kick.
Yeah.
So, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, one thing they could do is, well, I guess they'd have to say.
I was going to say touchdown ends it. I just don't. Not in postseason.
Both teams should get the ball, because really what the game really ended up doing with the Patriots and Chiefs is okay, our offense is better than your defense. Okay, but I would like to say, okay, stop Mahomes now.
Yeah.
Because it could be the same thing. Mahomes.
Stop Mahomes.
Stop
now,
Mahomes.
Let's see
now.
how your defense does against this young guy.
Exactly. So it's not, to me, it kind of sucks that the other team doesn't get to answer.
Yeah, I've never liked this one. I mean, before it was worse. Remember, you got a field goal, it was over.
Yeah,
that was absolutely
horrible. But this is still bad too.
It's as bad
especially
too.
in the playoffs. They could just implement this in the playoffs.
By the way, I'm talking all this right now for postseason.
Yeah,
this is how I feel about it for postseason, because I think the games, it's too important, it's too crucial, and everybody has to get an opportunity. So a flip of a coin toss ends up, they get to get the ball first, and it just and then Mahomes didn't even get on the field.
Yeah,
that irritates me.
Yeah, it irritates me too.
Let's give him a chance. So that's pretty interesting. I was listening to ESPN and some of them going, well, how about if they no field goal, no extra point, you got to go for 2.
Well, that's a part of it in college. At some point after they kick it, that's
in the third overtime.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Then they have to start going for 2 and everything.
But this is the first. This is like, if you score, you're not kicking an extra point. You have to go for 2, because that would shorten up. And as it is, those quarters now are only 10 minutes in pros. So
what do you mean?
They shortened the overtime.
Oh, the overtime.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I still think start them on the 50 and do it the way they do it in. I love the college overtime, man. I think,
and that's
great.
Getting back to your point of, are these games too long? And the point I was trying to make is, when you love a sport.
And you don't want a game to end. But
you want the best team to win. You want to feel like both team had a fair chance to win.
Can you look up something? I remember hearing something on the news yesterday, and this blew my mind. But that certain casinos in Vegas were refunding money. Yeah.
Really?
They're refunding money to the people
and that tells you all you need to know.
That tells you all. Yeah,
that tells you all you need to know.
When do they ever give money? I mean, not in boxing.
Yeah.
Not in baseball games, basketball. This was so bad that they're refunding the people who lost.
Sports is just,
they had the game. That was the game.
And sports is just such an interesting thing, because we all wanted to be, played with integrity and fair and this and that. But how many times does a player drop a ball and he knows he drops the ball, but he rolls over and holds the ball up like he caught it and he knows he didn't catch it?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So now most of the time with the replay, we know it wasn't a catch or whatever, but the instinct to go, yeah, I caught it. And the ball bounced and everything.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, like, people even say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, is a saying.
Because you got to try to get
whatever
you can do.
But it's funny, but when it does go through, then you're okay with. I'm the type of person, I remember having this argument, man, with people that I play with. If I made an interception to win the game and I know I didn't really catch the ball, would I go to the referee and go, hey, man, I didn't catch the ball? No, you wouldn't.
Right.
But I would feel guilty about that, dude. I wouldn't feel whole about that. And I just think ultimately, and people might listening to this might think it's cheating. And maybe how I was raised, my life or whatever. I don't really want anything that I didn't earn.
Yeah, I want to bring it. Oh, this is it. This is it's New Jersey Sportsbook refunds bets from Saints game after blown call.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jersey. I knew, which is probably what is it in Atlantic City? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just the type of person. I would feel.
Thanks, Chris.
I don't know how good I would feel holding up the trophy if I knew I had to cheat to do it,
or that you had cheated on a pass or a call or something.
And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it's like when I think of the Patriots sometimes, like, yeah, you can have your trophy. And I said this to my friend who's a Patriots fan, and he got a little pissed, but he had to say that I'm right. I do think Tom Brady is a phenomenal quarterback.
Absolutely,
he is one of the best.
Yeah.
But the reason why I will never call him the GOAT, and to me, I think Joe Montana is the GOAT because number one, he's never lost a Super Bowl, and most importantly, when it's all said and done, and you Patriot fans, you can say whatever you want. When it's all said and done, Joe Montana's integrity was never questioned once.
Not once.
And not even saying it's Tom Brady's fault, but there are things that when history goes back, Spygate is going to come up.
Yeah.
The whole deflate thing is going to come up.
Yeah.
It's not saying he's not great, but there's still some shade on it.
Correct.
You know, especially for people who don't like the Patriots. Yeah. That's something that's always going to come up. Even if you fucking hate the 49ers, Joe Montana has never been called a cheater.
No. And that's
the difference.
Aside from the first game with the Bengals, their first game, which was close. Yeah. Other than that, nobody could even get close to the Niners in this. Yeah. The Patriots win by 3 points.
Yes.
All the time.
You know what I used to call the Patriots? They're the most dominant, undominant team in NFL history.
That is absolutely correct.
Every Super Bowl they win, they barely win.
They have not dominated one Super Bowl.
Not dominated one Super Bowl.
Nope.
Not one.
Not once.
And again, as much as I don't like the 49ers as a Raider fan.
Man, watch it, man. It's my family's team, man.
I know.
Shout out, Dad.
Yeah.
Sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles. Thank you.
So at least you finally did something right. I switched to a Raider fan. I went to
the dark side.
But I respect the 49ers because they did it the right way. And I did lose a lot of respect for the Patriots because, again, when you cheat and get an advantage, you can celebrate and do all that. You've really affected other people's lives. You affected other people's ability to make a living. People probably got cut. Yeah. People lost their jobs, etc. Like you do. There's a trickle effect that we don't even think about.
Like, Bruce Lee used to say about, dropping a pebble or a rock in a pond, and then the ripple goes all the way out.
And to all you people who want to say everybody cheats, that's one thing, like, it's like, really? Is that something you'd say to your parents? Like, well, Mom, everybody's doing it.
Right.
Everybody did it. I would have got smacked if I'd have said something like that. I don't care what everybody else do. You do what I tell you to do. I tell you, you know what I mean? So you can't say, hey, everybody was cheating. No, you got caught. And let me just say one thing about Bill Belichick, who's a genius, who's a phenomenal coach, and the whole thing I'm talking about in reference to Spygate. He's not going to do anything that doesn't give him a competitive advantage. And I've heard Patriots go, it's not like they needed to do it. Really, Belichick is going to invest time and money in something that they don't need to do. Yeah. So in one aspect, he's considered one of the most thorough, analytical coaches. He thinks about every aspect of the game. That's why he's a better coach than everybody else, because he thinks about situations and things that most coaches don't. But with recording teams, practices, and walkthroughs and everything, it's like, oh, yeah, go ahead. Maybe something will come of it.
Right.
No.
How's the guy he's micromanages everything, and then
it goes against his character.
Correct.
Yeah. And I get wanting to protect your team, but if we're going to be honest, let's just be honest. Yeah. And that is something that I lost a lot of respect for that organization. And the irony of it is, a coach that was on that staff is the one that ratted him out.
Yeah.
Man genius.
Yeah.
And that's why Belichick hated him, because he went and told secrets. So this isn't Patriots haters just making things up.
There's just going to be people who go, look, this season, asterisk, this season, asterisk. But I agree, man. If he doesn't, the guy that micromanages, how would he not know about all of this? So, do we have? Did you want? Or you want to do predictions, or who you want, or do you want to try?
Here's the thing. It's to be neutral. I think this, to be honest,
because I'm not a fan of either.
I'm not a fan of either team. But I will say this: the Rams have the elements that you need to beat the Patriots,
Sure do.
and that you have to be able to get pressure on Brady with your front four without blitzing. And if you look at the Super Bowls of the teams that they lost to, they had great defensive lines and were able to get pressure on Brady. And the Rams have two of the best in football with Sue and Donald. And if those guys show up and play the way they're capable of playing,
putting pressure on,
it could be
he collapses. Brady collapses under a lot of pressure,
especially up the middle. You have to be able to get pressure up the middle.
He always steps
and
in.
If you can get pressure up the middle against the Patriots, you can beat them. And Tom Brady is the best quarterback
with time.
Yeah, when he has time. But he becomes so average when you get pressure on him.
Yeah, correct.
And that to me has always been strange.
Which is somebody like Rodgers is not like that.
No.
Russell Wilson is not like that.
No. Montana wasn't like that.
Right.
Elway wasn't like that.
They excelled with the pressure.
Exactly. Brett Favre. But when
even
you put
Roethlisberger, dude, that guy's getting hit by two guys at the same time.
But when you put pressure on Brady, he will throw the ball up.
Yeah.
He'll make bad passes. He gets those happy
hit, dude. He doesn't like to get hit.
So I'm
gonna Gurley and CJ Anderson.
They have what it takes to win.
They absolutely.
They have what it takes to win, and I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm picking the Rams.
Of course, I'd rather the Rams win.
Of course.
Even though I don't. But I think it's going to be 31-32 Pats in double overtime.
That's such a girly. Anyway, I'm not going to say that because there's a lot of women who are knowledgeable in sports.
What do you mean?
I just thought that was a terrible prediction. Double.
Yeah, this time double overtime because remember it went into overtime a couple Super Bowls
real quick. Some of these memes that came out are hilarious. There's a meme where it says Super Bowl 53 is set, and it's two refs with one has a Patriots patch on, and the other one has a Rams patch on. That's a hilarious meme.
That's great.
And then I'll let you do this one, Johnny.
Oh, this is a Doritos bag with a Saints player on it, and it's Doritos, the nacho flavored. So it says Doritos, and then the Saints guy, and then nacho year, eh? Because you know why, eh? Because I bought these in El Camino Real, eh?
All right.
And then, that's it. Just those. Yeah.
But hey, you guys,
31-32 double overtime. Unfortunately,
and I'm just picking
by a field goal,
and I'm picking the Rams to win. I do think they're the better team overall.
I hope they win.
I do think they're the better team overall.
The season, the Belichick. And all those players on the Patriots that were there the last 2 years, there's going to be some that are playing from 2 years ago too.
Yeah.
I just think, man, that makes a huge difference. And the Rams got young guys, young coach.
Yeah.
I think it's a learning lesson, but I think the Pats come out on top. And
So we disagree. So you think the Pats are going to win?
I think they're going to win, man.
Okay. So we will find out. I got the Rams winning the Super Bowl, and you have the Patriots.
But I want the Rams.
Okay. That's fair.
I want that to be known.
Okay, cool.
I'm worried about how seasoned veteran guys they are. That's all.
And we'll talk more sports from time to time.
Man, see, I got you in a better mood, man.
Oh, man.
He was all frustrated.
Anyway, we'll talk more, and we're going to have some...
walking in with all kinds of weird shenanigans going on.
Oh, jeez, man. Guys, thank you for listening. You see what I have to put up with.
Greatness.
We decided because it was a Super Bowl, we do a sports show, especially with all the controversy. Hey, man, that's what happens in sports sometimes. I just hope
share,
as time goes on.
Like Ruby Tuesdays at the Laugh Factory every Tuesday.
That's it. Ruby Tuesdays every Tuesday, 9:30. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. This is the best of everything with Ruben Paul and
Johnny Sanchez.
And we out.
Oh, shit! You and Ruben. This is fucking awesome. Butt ass naked in the middle of the movie theater.
Whoa!
Yep.
Is that real?
Hell no. You can laugh, white guy. You can still feel the heat. So somebody went, oh.
It was a fucking joke.
Loved it. Best thing we've done in LA.
Yeah, 100%. Ruby Tuesday's off the hook.
I laugh so much I feel like I have a six-pack.
Ruby Tuesdays, y'all. Where are you?
You better get here.
Ruby
Let's
Tuesday.
do this.
Guess what night? Tuesday nights. I love you. I'll see you at the show.